Hi, my name is Dawn Hauk, and I'm a Kennesaw State University student as well as a 4th and 5th grade technology resource teacher. In one of my KSU classes, we learned how to use Weebly, and we learned how to blog. I was anxious to get started with our 4th grade. Ms. Harrell and I sat down and came up with some objectives as well as a focus on writing standards. I was all about incorporating the net standards into the lesson as much as possible. To teach blogging, I thought it would be best if I chose to create a model blog myself. I could use the blog to communicate with the students, have the students communicate back with me, and use it to demonstrate Weebly skills and tools. To start, I incorporated Google Apps for Education into the Weebly blog. I found out information from the students so that I could connect and collaborate with them using their Google Apps accounts. As I began to speak about blogging, I could tell by the confused look on their face that they weren't sure what I was talking about. So I referenced the TV show, Dog with a Blog, and asked them to tell me a little bit about it. All of a sudden, I could see that they finally made the connection of what a blog was. After using the Weebly survey tool, I had the students answer 2 questions about whether they knew what a blog was and if they've ever really used one. That evening, I incorporated their survey results back into the blog. Using the survey results, I had them chart and graph the students' answers to the 2 survey questions. Not only did I want them to see how they could integrate both Google Docs, Google Sheets into a Weebly blog, but I also wanted to show them they could incorporate videos. I had the students watch the YouTube video, What is a Blog Anyway? And I assigned them a question to answer. We also watched this YouTube video. I wanted students to understand the benefits of blogging for kids. Instead of them having to log in or click on a hyperlink to get to a website, I wanted to show them that they could incorporate some clever tools into their Weebly blogs. Their Google Apps for Education accounts are fairly new, probably about 2 years old. Many of the students had not yet visited the Google Chrome Web Store. I let the students look around in the Google Chrome Web Store and then finally told them to type in a QR code extension. They went ahead and added it to their account. I had them click on the extension and they noticed that it activated their Chromebook webcam, which they used to scan the QR code. They also figured out that they could take pictures of themselves, in which they decided to incorporate into their Padlet along with their blogging answers. I wanted the students to see that blogging could open up doors to their future and that blogging was cool. So I had them go to a website called Meet the Children Blogging About Their World and choose a blogger to read about. There were about 8 bloggers featured who blogged about various interests. After reading about the blogger, the students needed to activate the Google Doc that I had tied into the blog and answer a series of 7 questions in which they then needed to share the answers back with me. I could tell at this point that students were really getting some good ideas of things they wanted to blog about. I asked them to visit at least 3 more sites. They could either choose from kid blogs, classroom blogs, or some miscellaneous blogs. Since some students were getting an idea of what they wanted to specifically blog about, I also opened it up and offered an extension that if students knew what they were interested in blogging about, that they could research or Google some blogs that were similar in nature. Students were eager to get started, so I also integrated a music video into the blog. Just another example of the multimedia that students could incorporate into their own. They watched and I also demonstrated how they would sign in to Weebly for Education. Title in mind for their blog, they signed in and chose it from some of the design templates. Today they blogged their first blog. And I also taught them the ABCs of how to post to other people's blogs and what to do and what not to do. Since each student had 1 post, I decided a good way to provide feedback on how to blog post would be to post back to my students. Therefore, using the ABCs that I had modeled, I posted back. I introduced students to the blogging posting rubric. I explored the blogs that they were making, posted their addresses. Some students posted about video computer game reviews. Some were animal lovers. Some were interested in fashion, some on book reviews, science fiction, and even current events. Students are now incorporating some of the Weebly tools into their blogs, such as this survey, and wanting to put in some multimedia. I devised a checklist that the students could use in order to work through all of the mini lessons and check items off as they complete them. Many posts and blogging writing conferences later, students will fill out a blogging evaluation that the teacher will use to better the assignment for next time.